All right, what I've been witnessing with hip hop is that like we're oversaturating ourselves with what's popular, what's not, and I think that people have kind of gone away from the art form of why we did this in the first place, why we started this. We wanted a voice, we got that voice, and now it seems like we're throwing that voice away every moment, and there's no ground to what's happening. Because now that you have the Andre album out, you know what I'm saying, and he's doing his thing, is great, you know what I mean, as far as like what journey he is on. But everybody else kind of trying to take that journey along with not even themselves, but like with you, as if that's the topic to now talk about. Like that's what hip hop is now. That's not necessarily what hip hop is or necessarily where it's going. It can go that way, you know what I mean? And who's to say that it hasn't been? There's already been heads out here. There have been local cats in probably in your neighborhood that have been doing the same exact thing. You know what I'm saying? They have been probably annoying the hell out of you, pleading, yo, please listen to my demo type stuff. And it now it's gotten to that point, like I said, where popularity is kind of ruling everything. You know what I'm saying? Like that is the new voice of hip hop. It's the trend, but it kind of proves to me that hip hop fans no longer exist. You know what I'm saying? So now we are playing like the teeny bopper game where it's like, oh man, who can get more likes? You know what I'm saying? Oh, he's done this in the past, but like how many folks really know about them songs in the past, and how many of them today are actually like trying to fight for them to be around? You know what I'm saying? More like in some past stuff, what we in with Mugs and Pockets, what we've done is we've tried to introduce the whole who is the new Picasso, you know what I'm saying? Who are these new artists right now, and are we actively searching out for them? No, we're not. You know what I'm saying? We may stumble onto them because of now we're into this new wave, but I feel like there's certain folks that'll say, just because now, like like now we're listening to his album and things that are kind of like it, he spawned this new wave. There's no new wave. This has been going on. There are people that have been trying to innovate themselves, and been people who have like progressed themselves on the level. Now you're just starting to open up your scope to a lot more of these folks. You know what I mean?
Okay, so there's no new wave, but did he open people's minds into searching for more? Do you think? Or
No,
exactly.
no.
Why not?
I mainly because again, this is all based off of popularity. It's not based off of I'm going to actively search for people or black folks or white folks or Chinese folks that have a certain thing or quality to themselves or their culture. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not digging like that. We're digging by way of popularity. What's in my face all the time? That's what I'm gonna grab. That's what I'm gonna talk about. These people are gonna talk about it. If you're not talking about it, you don't get my likes. You know what I'm saying? So it's it's
Okay,
kind of
where did the fans of hip hop go?
fans of hip hop. They grew up and they became more domestic. You know what I'm saying? Like they got kids. You know what I'm saying? And
They
things
gave
like
up?
this. Yes, a lot of them gave up. A lot of them won't tell you that, but yes, they gave up. You know what I mean? Because again, what else do we actually have? And this is the deeper part of it: is you do have scares to your family. You do have scares, or different risks. You know what I'm saying, to yourself and your family. So like those people who actively sought out their relationships and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of gave up on their relationship with the music. You know what I'm saying? And went that way. And then you started slowly seeing like different things happen in the clubs. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Different things happen on the streets where things got even way more violent. We were no longer using breakdancing tactics and things like this to talk to each other. We were now using, actual violence to just be, to quickly rid of the situation. You know,
Okay, so what do you think happened to get us to the point where people are so like, I don't know, surprised or just people are just, I don't know the words. Like, why is everybody about a live instrument like flute? Because somebody like Andre 3000 brought it forth.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, how did we get to this point? There
Right.
was always live instruments and different cultures and different influences in hip hop from the beginning. How did we get to the point where it's like a flute appears and everybody loses their damn minds?
Right, right. The biggest way that I can describe that is that, again, whatever, if you, okay, let's say our entertainment is comprised of apple, 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 apple. Oh man, green apple. Oh man, shiny apple. Now here comes the banana. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's now like, yo, that and now it's tied to somebody who used to have that real shiny apple, but now they toting the banana. And so this is what comes into play. It comes into play by way of the popularity. You know what I'm saying? Again, I think for me that is the core element of this whole conversation. It's like people are chasing whatever dream it is that they wanted to have. You know what I mean? They see it in another person, and then boom, here it comes. But like this person may be, you know what I'm saying, truly like true to themselves and things like that. But it's the other folks like that kind of gravitate to that are saying, oh man, he's doing this. They're speaking for him. You know what I'm saying? And then that kind of becomes the topic at hand. And then because that is the topic based off of those folks, their thoughts, that's now what we combat with. We're not even talking about the real situation, which is,
Okay.
yeah.
So here's the real question. Are you frustrated as somebody who's been, innovative for decades and has worked with live instruments and jazz musicians and, has brought live musicians into your music and just have been innovative for many, many years? Are you frustrated with, seeing this? People just like completely losing their shit because there's a live instrument and it's because it's popular and the topic of the day.
Right.
Is that very frustrating for you?
Nah. I am not frustrated by the innovation or the innovator or the person that does go to chase their dreams and makes what it is that they can out of it and finds solace in it. Like, I am not at all disturbed by Andre 3000 and his flute or these many different woodwinds or the catalyst, you know what I'm saying, that got him there, or the people, you know what I'm saying, like behind, as far as behind the album. I'm frustrated with the fans because I don't think the fans truly know what the hell they talking about. And it gets to that point where it's like you talk about it. And it's like, well, where were you when all this was happening before? This was here. You know what I'm saying? Where were you when Andre was doing the rapping on with the South, you know what I'm saying? And the Nerd Kid, you know what I'm saying? That had the little you know what I mean? With some dope beats. You know what I mean? Or the violin or the guitar, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, obviously you do have certain types of people that break out about that, but it becomes like this parlor trick. It becomes like the thing that's like, oh, that's hip. You know, so, oh, you made it like into this. And it's no one really, as far as fans, there's no, I'm like, where are the fans of music? Not just this like, oh, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, where are the fans of innovation? You know what I mean?
Okay, but we talked before that like when the art changes, the audience changes.
Right.
So can we really blame fans, or are we blaming the music? Or are we blaming the people who have brought forth music? Because we talked about before,
Right.
The DJs or the people who are presenting music,
Right.
the magazines, people doing the reviews, they're not bringing forth whoever's the best.
Yeah.
They're just trying to see what's going to sell the most.
Right, exactly. So it's almost like what came first, the chicken
Yeah.
or the egg? You know what I mean? The way that I always tackle this is by way of the fans, because if somebody's gonna hold accountability, I'm saying the fans. I'm a fan of music. I'm a fan of hip hop. If you look at my roster, like what it is that I play, you know what I'm saying, to myself, it's not just one thing. And plus, I'm old school with it. I actually buy albums. I don't do the stream thing. You know what I'm saying? I am a fan of that musician or that group, and I want to see multiple albums from them. You know what I'm saying? I have, like, for instance, I have a top 100 list of MCs. A lot of folks can't name 100 MCs. You know what I'm saying? I have a top 100. You know what I mean? And guess who's not in there?
Who?
Jay-Z. Not in the top 100. You know what I mean?
Is Nas in there?
So Nas is definitely not in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much of a world and things. And here's the thing, is those people that don't have 100 MCs, those are the people that'll come to me and say, what? You don't got Nas in your 100?
And all they got is the top 5.
And all you got, right, top 20 at least, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. And they probably don't even include too many folks from 2015 on, you know what I'm saying, on up.
So then we're back to the, like, you only love the Picassos and
right, the old shit. And
because someone said these are the greats, and we're sticking to the idea that those are the greats. So whoever comes after can't possibly be better.
Well, here's what I have to say to that. Is like, there's a lot of new cats that straight up, they can't rap. They cannot rap. Like, they don't understand rhythm. There's too many antics and too many, like, you know what I'm saying, things like, for instance, auto-tune, like all of these different things that you're putting on your voice. It's like, yo, you go in the street with that? Now, some of them can actually rap, but they're not going to show you that because they know where the popular vote is. You know what I mean? Some people chase the dollar. But that's what I'm saying. It's gotten too far as to people chasing the dollar and not necessarily chasing that art, chasing their art. Now, Andre, he did his thing. That's what people are hopefully giving him credit for. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't now necessarily mean, everybody else about the, you know what I'm saying? We chasing our dreams means no longer rapping.
Do people understand these days? Do people understand what a good skilled MC is? Do you think
no, definitely
the fans
not.
understand?
Definitely not, because I think that any real rapper would probably say that Andre 3000 has writer's block. That's what it is. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I
can be old as shit kicking raps. We got it from an older generation. Let's not, you know what I'm saying? Let's not, you know what I'm saying? Let's not go too far about, you know what I mean? Like, some of these cats, they look in the face, they're doing raps back in the day, their face look older. You know what I'm saying? These don't look like, you know what I'm saying, 19-year-old kids. You know? So I think he got writer's block. You know what I mean? Now, what he has to do in order to get out of that, you know what I'm saying, that's for him. And I'm sure everybody would applaud him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's obvious that he's been doing great. One thing that I would say, you know what I mean, the one question that I had about that, and that's about him, is why he did it on a major platform and didn't put it out himself. You know what I mean? I think that would have taught more people also about our shit and continue our voice, you know what I'm saying, of these things. Because meanwhile, the reason why, now all of us chase some sort of popularity, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, because we want people to hear it. But that's why we created an art form for ourselves. Now all of these other folks, you know what I'm saying, from different walks of life is trying to come into the circle telling us what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm what did KRS say? You know what I'm saying? He's like, you could be a Mac, a pimp hustler, a player, but make sure live you was the dope rhyme sayer. That's our shit. You know what I mean? Andre said, yo, he felt like he ain't got it. He ain't got nothing to say. Boom, he went with something else. You know what I mean? Dope. Word up. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not other folks out there that don't got it. There's tons of people coming out with albums that are blazing. You know what I'm saying? But if we keep searching for our art form on all major platforms, you're not gonna see it. You know what I mean? You actually have to dig in the crates. These are elements of ourselves that we're losing. You know what I'm saying? You're not digging. And that's a problem. That's to me, that's the responsibility of the fan. Because y'all are the ones that keep this stuff alive. Y'all are the ones that dictate to the people that have the money to tell them what to invest in.
Right, but some of these new fans, these younger fans, like they've only been seeing this type of rapper
Right.
their whole life, so they don't even know
Yeah.
really what they're supposed to be looking for, because that skill is not there anymore. That
Yeah.
the breadth of like different styles, different perspectives, different ways of rhyming, different ways of approaching things, it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
So if something like that peeks through, they think that it's a new thing.
Of
They
course.
think that somebody invented it, right? And I mean, it's always been that way, but
Yeah.
it's like, can you really blame a fan who's like 17 years old right now that they're like
Right.
not aware of what a skilled MC is?
Yeah, you can. That's the greatest thing about hip hop. Hip hop is not a hip hop's lifestyle is not like lifestyle. You know what I mean? It is a circle. It's a culture. And you do have to learn about it. There ain't no getting away from it. You know what I'm saying? There's a way to greet us. There's a way to speak to us. There's a way to keep shit real. You know what I mean? It's just like if you go to a restaurant, no matter how old you are, you know what I mean? You're still gonna get respected. You still gonna get brought in. But if you go into that restaurant and you're like, "Sawate krap," you know what I mean? You speak in the language, they gonna be like, "Oh," they gonna look at you like, "Fan, oh, okay, I recognize you, I see you." You might even get a free meal or two, you know what I mean? Just because you spoke the language. But that's the thing, just because cats is nice in this and not necessarily, see, there used to be some sort of, what do you call this? Not necessarily consequence, but there was some sort of repercussion that you would get. Now, I'm not saying all the levels of repercussion, but there was some sort of repercussion, you know what I'm saying, that would be faced, you know. And the thing is that just because folks are inviting and saying like, cool, you know what I'm saying, like to your craft and things like, doesn't mean that you don't go back home and practice.
Okay, but you're saying, it is the fan's responsibility
Yeah.
to know, but it's also the artist's responsibility. And if so
It
many
is.
MCs are just like
It is.
whack.
Yeah. Because the other element in this is cultivating. You know, you have to cultivate the art. You know, so that does take place with the artist, you're right, you know what I mean, as well as the fan. You know what I mean? But if again, when we start with the what came first, chicken or the egg, to me, it's like I was a fan first before I was anything. You know what I mean?
Do you think a big part of it is like lack of mentorship? Because a lot of the older kind of generations who could be mentoring people kind of got just fed up with it or didn't see their place in what was coming next?
I think it could be, but I don't want to put it on that. I think it's just the fact that the education of what hip hop is.
And whose responsibility is the education?
That is all of us, but to me it first starts with the fan. Like, you gotta know what you're hype about. Like, if you're into eating a certain food, like, to me that's on you to find out what is in that food, especially if they already put it on there. They put it on the label, it's on the box, but you're not reading the box. You know what I mean? You got to take responsibility. Like, and to me, okay, Pete, what I'm saying though, you have to take responsibility to the point where it's like, if the information is out there, that's on you to get it. It's not it doesn't just mean, oh man, but he didn't do his job. Like I said, this ain't about regular lifestyle shit. See, you can pull that shit in regular lifestyle shit. In hip hop, there is you have to cultivate yourself. We had to give ourselves our voice. We had to give ourselves our strength. And that's what this is about. You know what I mean? Like, you're empowering yourself. When you step into hip hop, you empower yourself. You know what I mean? And it is your job to do that. You know, it is your, because we're gonna give you the credit no matter what. But the thing is, you can't just take the credit and run with it like, oh, now I got the fans' permission. You know what I'm saying? I'm the Don now. I'm the king. You know what I mean? And everybody's talking about how they the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? And all these fans are calling other people GOAT. You know what I'm saying? And they don't know shit about some of the people in the past, right? Well, there's something with graph writing, right? Okay, which is also another element within hip hop. Now, in graph writing, before you can call yourself All City, you had to go All City. You know what I'm saying? Now, if your shit is whack though, if you a toy, you getting crossed out, which means your shit ain't All City. You know what I'm saying? You getting crossed out. So you had to, there was, people understand that there is a skill level that we are searching for. We're not talking about the absolute best. We are talking about, man, he or she, they got some ill hand styles. I like that. I respect that. You know what I mean? And then you see that up somewhere, you're like, yo, that's a great contribution to what it is that we're doing in the graph community. And you can back yourself off of that. You know what I mean? But some of these people now, they get to a point where it's like, okay, these people have done so much good that if I even look like that person or look like I should be part of that culture, I can now reap the benefits of that without having to do the work. And what's happened is a lot of fans have tried to become actual MCs, actual artists, actual, you know what I'm saying, and haven't put the work in because you're following tidbits. You're following, you know what I'm saying? If you can follow those, then you can educate yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. And it's not doing things in a way that says, oh, I want to scorn all these people. I want to get them away. No, I want to cultivate. That's it. So if you thinking about jumping into hip hop, I'm saying that it's on you to bring us your realest self ever. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You know what I mean? So if you're gonna jump into your own craft and you know you did 50 takes of that and you still don't like it, but you putting it out because you tired, nah, B, we don't want that. We don't want that. You know what I mean? Keep going in. We applaud them 50 takes. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't the one. And if I was producing some of y'all cats, it would be a bubble that we would create and I would tell you how to go in. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I'm a fan. I can do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to push nobody down. I'm like, yo, we got to give these kids something to think about. Because if all they think about is like, oh man, did you hear such and such verse? I feel like I could do that. If they feel like they could touch some of this stuff, but they not talking about the Rakims and they, you know what I'm saying? They not talking about, you know what I'm saying, the Big Daddy Kane's, like from, you know, when they were doing it, and you look at how far ago that was and how lyrically, how they still get the respect.
Right. So like what happened between Big Daddy Kane and now that we feel like it hasn't progressed?
There's a lot of fans that gave them the pass, that said this is okay. You know what I mean? That said, oh, just because we like it. Again, you know what I'm saying? You got many people in the world, right? So you got different levels of what people are gonna like. So of course, when you find your people or your zone or whatever, it's gonna be like, oh, that's cool. You know what I mean?
And also, if you don't understand what is great about it,
right,
then you can't really judge it.
Right.
Because if you understand 10% of what's going on, when you see that same 10% in somebody else,
yeah,
which could be like they got as much charisma, yeah, or they rap as fast,
yeah,
you know, and then you don't have really the knowledge to see what they're rhyming, what words, how
right,
they're putting things
right,
together, and or they can only do fast songs as opposed to like every tempo, or
right,
you know
right,
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like you're kind of just like, yeah, you're just co-signing people that shouldn't be co-signed, and you don't even have the know-how to co-sign them. Exactly.
And when people are getting that now we are aware that there are a lot of folks out here that go through traumatic experiences, and sometimes they turn to their craft, you know what I'm saying, and put everything in their craft to do it. And then when they get that yay, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
they're like, okay, word, you know what I'm saying? And that is a cosign, you know what I mean? Now, in life, that is amazing. That's what we want, you know what I mean? In life, that's great. In hip hop, it's something different, because you also got to cultivate. You got to make sure, just because, you know what I'm saying, we put that traumatic experience into there, is it still dope though?
Yeah, I've
You know what I
I've
mean?
noticed that actually in it happens a lot in dance, and it could be
Mm.
any style of dance. A dancer will feel like, as long as they're like putting their all into it and being extremely dramatic,
Yeah.
that it is good.
Wow.
And it's like,
Yep.
no,
Yeah.
it's therapeutic for you, and
Right.
that's great.
Right.
And do that. Maybe do that on your time.
Yeah.
Videotape yourself, but that doesn't automatically mean it's you've done all the other work, or
Right.
you've learned enough about that style or whatever. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Because it's like, just imagine somebody who doesn't know how to dance and just like goes to something that we know exactly in almost popular culture.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I can kind of tell that's correct looking ballet, right? At least they're not falling
Yeah.
all over themselves.
Yeah.
If anybody just feels like I can now be a ballet dancer because I'm being dramatic and like damn
Right.
near crying on
Right.
stage, like we can tell that ain't right.
Right.
But in some other forms where like
Right.
the general public doesn't understand what makes it that art form or that culture or that style,
Yeah.
they'll accept damn near anything if somebody's
Right.
being dramatic or emotional.
Which gets us to the point of like when we fuse different types of genres, music. Like I was watching something, you know what I'm saying, where it was like basically opera being fused with,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, with the rapping, and it was like
Awful.
it was something. The reason why it was awful for me is because it wasn't, they weren't matching each other's vibe. It was almost like a train wreck, you know what I'm saying, as far as like a DJ. Like when DJs blend, you know what I'm saying, they looking for, okay, that song goes kind of well with this one, you know what I'm saying, bam. You know what I mean? This was not that. I mean, this was a train wreck.
Yeah, but the social media and the audience were like,
Right.
They're
Everybody,
so
they don't
innovative.
know that.
They're so experimental.
Yeah.
They're this is because they don't understand either art form
Right.
on its own.
Right.
So of course they're not going to understand how to blend them if they can't even tell them if they're good apart.
Right.
They just know we got something that's like a street style and we got something that's like a classical style. While these people are just so innovative and brave for doing that, and it was awful.
Yeah. And there's again, this, because you're gonna have folks that are in this shit, and there's then other folks that are not, and what they're only going to hear is awful. They're only gonna hear that.
Yep.
Awful. You know what I mean? This ain't for that. Sometimes this ain't for you either. But these are the ways that we communicate now. You know what I mean? So that's why I keep trying to say there is a hip hop element, you know what I'm saying, lifestyle, and then there's life. You know what I mean? And then obviously with these types of things, like things fusing, you know what I mean? You have those bubbles still, you know what I'm saying, within ballet, within, you know what I'm saying, just these other genres that we keep talking about or bringing up. But as far as the consensus of or the basis of this conversation, hip hop has not cultivated itself in a way that allows someone like me, who is now 47, 48, you know what I mean? Someone like me to recognize it, you know what I mean? And be so that I could be like, word up, my voice is still here. When it changes and the audience changes, that's cool, right? At least I can understand it, right? But that's the reason that I rap or will do things in a specific way and elevate from that. You know what I mean? And give you that. Now, when everybody's following this, you know what I mean? All right, look, that's somebody's style. And everybody biting. I don't care what y'all say. Everybody bites. Somebody came up with that. Y'all probably didn't give this person their credit enough. You know what I mean? Because you damn sure ain't giving it in your new records. You know what I mean? That's their style. Leave that alone. Come up with something new. In hip hop, you know what I'm saying? This is how we cultivate things. Get that if y'all really feel like that, give that person their credit. Let everybody know who created that style before you use it. Cite it on your album. I am doing this person's style. You know what I mean?
That's why we're real watching about who's trying to steal
Yeah, you know
our
what I'm
shit,
saying?
because it's like we're not known enough.
Yeah.
And if somebody takes it and makes a mockery out of it,
Right.
and just makes it into
Right.
a parlor trick.
Yep. Because we all know now, like, you know what I'm saying, the poor man's version of something is probably going to get put on first before the original article of that style gets put on. And the reason is because now people are looking for the dumbed down version because that's what they can relate to. That's what they can do. That's what they can, you know what I'm saying? They can do that with their friends.
And to bring that full circle then and kind of finish this up, it's like, okay, you love Andre 3000's new album? Please do tell me what other famous or well-known flute player you are a fan of. And tell me
Yeah.
who's better and why.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're going to be a fan
Exactly.
of flute,
Know what's up. And
don't
it's
pretend
a-
like he invented playing flute.
Right. So hopefully that statement separates, those in life and then those like within that flute life. Because the people in the flute life or woodwind life, instrumentalists, they probably should, they're gonna know. You know what I'm saying? They've been building this forever. Obviously, we're not talking y'all in this tone. You know what I'm saying? We would slow that tone down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But for the other folks that are talking about it, posting about it, you know what I'm saying? This, that, and the third, like, it's like, yo, like, understand. Like, this is this genre of music, this hip hop shit, you know what I'm saying? That we talking about, like, this is a whole culture. So when we centralize everything on one person, basically what you're doing is minimalizing the culture. So if you're gonna accept Andre, accept us. Accept the man down the street, like things that you think are dope. Things that you think are dope.
And if you're going to be a fan of flute now, you better find some other flute
Yeah,
players,
you better
because
gotta find them.
they spend thousands and thousands
Yeah.
and thousands of dollars on schooling, on private lessons,
Yeah.
on buying flutes
Yeah,
for years and years and years,
Yeah.
to travel to practice in orchestras, in symphonies. And we don't give a crap about them, right? Because they're not famous.
Right.
It's like, cool. But then just say that you don't know shit about flute and you don't care about flute. Just keep it real.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Keep that shit 100. I just want to cite something real quick on some flute shit, actually. You know what I'm saying? Songs from the Wood, Jethro Tull. Amazing album. Even when sampling and things like this, I have that album. People know, you know what I'm saying? People that know me know. I had that album like in a frame on the wall, letting people know, like,